Flyover State of Film was shot in front of a live studio audience.
Hey everybody, welcome to Flyover State of Film. I'm your host Brian Hurst, and with me as always are the Flyover boys here with the hot takes and the ice cold beers. My man Yusef, TJ, Joe, tell me, how's it going, fellas?
It's going pretty good. Hi.
I say right now, I fucking hate radio DJs. To me, that is the lowest form of entertainment. And it's weird that podcasting has got so big because that's basically talk radio. But my whole life, I've hated fucking morning DJs.
You sounded like one just there.
I know I was like channeling my horrible nightmare.
We just need the noises. The noises.
Todd Tidman,
yeah, we don't have any like
ooga,
you know. Or somebody's like disembodied voice, like, "Oh baby." We should just do that. Let's just turn this shit into a morning zoo crew, and that's what this shit is from now on.
You know, I'm trying to be like the new Howard Stern, guys. Like, I think our group is just like Stern and the crew.
There definitely aren't enough Howard Sterns, that's for sure. Boy, we don't have enough of that personality type in the world. Definitely.
We would get canceled so fast.
Do me a favor. Go on their Twitter. Tell them to get on Flyover. Who knows? They seem like a cool guy.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. They'll probably want to do it for free. They love that sort of thing.
Oh, yeah.
So, you guys want to talk a little bit? There's just like a tiny little bit of news. Kind of a slow week.
For everyone, we're saving that big juicy news topic for the end of the show, just so you know.
We wouldn't want them to think that we weren't on the ball. That's true. We are a podcast well known for being topical and for that's it. I was actually way ahead of the curve on that one. But anyway, the other little news story that popped up in our radar was that Disney, a list came out of over like 200 movies, apparently, projects that Disney acquired when they bought Fox, and they just scrapped them. They scrapped a ton of them. One thing I was thinking too is like, also, scrap just means they just aren't going to be spending more money on it now. It's not like they still own these properties. Any of these could come back at any time. So I also think there's that element of it here too. But I think what mostly people were looking at was just like, there was just a couple names. I pulled up the tweet here, names and things. You guys got any thoughts on some of these? I'll list a couple of them off. Mega Man, The Sims. This was where I was like, what is The Sims movie? It's just a fucking movie about people living in a house? Like,
that
what
movie
is
had to have been... The Sims had to have been greenlight, like when the Emoji Movie like hit, and they were like, "Yo, just anything with the name, we'll just throw in there." And it's like
Sims was 10 years old when Emojis came around.
I think Jumanji, the Rock one, has something to do with that because you can actually like throw people into the Sims game and be controlled by other people. I
can see that. Yeah, I can see that being the element of it.
So the movie Gamer or Serenity.
Yes, there you go. Yeah, that works. I want to talk.
It killed McClane, the sixth Die Hard movie. It was supposed to be a prequel. All the things on this list, by the way, I already tweeted out. I thought were excellent cuts. Nothing that should get made here. Chronicle 2. Well, first of all, talk about a movie that does not need a sequel, but also don't give Max Landis a check. Fuck him.
I think that also might be why it got canceled too. The whole Max Landis thing. I mean, you're also 8 years too late now.
Give Josh Trank a shot.
I think it would have been awesome if it was about the couple that got their floorboards destroyed and then they got divorced because the father just had like legit just invested all their money in the floorboards, and then the superheroes came through and destroyed the house, and that put too much of a strain in the family. And like it had nothing to do with the superheroes. It was just legit just about that couple going through divorce.
At the
All
very end,
based around superhero-related damages.
yeah, but
Yeah.
at the very end, the
Insurance
son becomes a
claims.
villain. Yeah, the son becomes a villain at the very end.
I don't know. This feels like Disney bought a house, and then the previous owner had like that crappy basement, just the furniture and the bar
With
that was
paneling
gonna
on the
be,
walls and
yeah.
shit.
and they're like, this is bullshit.
Yeah.
We're just gonna throw all this shit out, and everybody's like, "But it's a good bar. Use it." And like, no, nobody's gonna come down to our shitty basement to drink.
And like I said, it's
I
not like they still
think-
own John McClane. So if Disney comes up with an idea that they think they can make money with, rest assured they'll fucking bring back John McClane. They'll do
And
it, you know.
And they clearly dumped things are probably like, oh, like we just said they were in production and have like not the bare minimum done, but like not that
Stuff that's
much.
just got some concept art and maybe a script, but nobody really
Yeah.
attached or anything. You
Yeah.
know.
It's like the same
Like-
thing. Like if you have the money, like you could strip down whatever you want, rebuild it any way you want. They have the money. You're gonna do the same thing to that basement. You're gonna be like, hey, why would you do that? It's got.
It was at this time we had some audio drop out. It happens another time during this, but basically right now as I bring up Howard the Duck and everyone agrees it's a great film. But the next time it happens, I'm going to squeeze in the trailer for Surviving the Game, which is Brian's pick for this episode. So thanks for hanging in.
Hanging around.
Like,
There's no
they
way
just
anybody was
basically
actively
said,
working
this
on
is what we're
Assassin's
cleaning.
Creed 2. Movie right away after that. So like I feel like that was just a given, and that's just like them announcing things that everybody kind of already knew. But for some reason that was the one I saw the most people like, oh, crying emoji.
Well, did you see, speaking of Taika Waititi and other news, like people are trying to get him kicked off. They're trying to James Gunn him basically with his Nazi movie.
I think that ties into our topic later. Let's hang on to a little bit
Okay,
of that.
sorry about
We'll just
that.
talk about that later.
But
Why would you want to kill yourself? Maybe I like the idea of choosing when I die instead of having somebody else choose for me. If someone offered you a good job, would you be interested? What kind of job are you talking about? We need someone to help us with our hunts out in the wilderness.
Are you sure about this one?
Oh, I'm sure.
Has he got courage?
Gentlemen, I would like you to meet our new hunting guide, Mason.
Here's a toast to the hunters and a prayer for the hunted. The hunt begins now.
Just let me get the door for you. Go.
We're not really gonna hunt him, are we?
He's nothing. He's less than nothing.
Come on, Mason!
I won't take any part in this.
I want you!
If you make it to civilization, you live. If you don't, maybe God will have mercy.
Job well done, bitch.
Jack Mason knows he's going to die someday.
Damn, I wish I'd never started smoking.
But today, he's not in the mood.
This is where it gets interesting.
Never underestimate
Come on, Mason!
a man who has nothing to lose. Rutger Hauer, Charles Dutton, Gary Busey, F. Murray Abraham, William McNamara, and Ice-T. Surviving the game.
Time until some kids finally take pity on him.
He abuses his dog, I bet.
Yeah, the dog didn't look like he got treated great. I'm not gonna lie. It was a lot of times it was like foaming at the mouth, which means it probably wasn't getting enough water out there. Did not look good. I'm not gonna lie.
What other ones? Is there any other movies anyone's interested in?
I don't think so. There wasn't much else on the list that I can tell.
no,
Was Andy Serkis behind the Pinocchio one, like the Jungle Book?
no, I think it was just like Fox probably had that in the pipeline that they
Oh,
want to
did
get.
we talk about Andy Serkis is going to direct Venom 2? Did we talk?
Oh.
That's some news we could talk about.
Yeah, that works because it kind of ties in.
Yeah.
Venom.
That's about it, huh?
I mean, that's all. I mean, he can't make it any worse, right? Like.
Oh, he can. Don't underestimate anybody, Brian.
Honestly, I think Sony's just gonna make it worse, and they're waiting for the peak amount of goodwill at Spider-Man, and they're saying they're pulling it from Marvel.
I don't think they. The Spider-Man, yeah, because then they're gonna see Tom Holland and Tom Hardy. If Tom Hardy does a second Venom, you're gonna see them by the third at some point together.
Yeah,
guaranteed.
Absolutely, and like in the next Spider-Man movie, I bet you're gonna see his like Vice TV show in the background. Just something stupid enough.
I don't know, because that would throw like a big wrench, because they're like trying to build Spider-Man into the new leader, and then it's like, oh, where did Spider-Man go? He moved and he doesn't talk to us anymore.
That's true.
Spider-Man lives in San Francisco now. That's weird.
Spider-Man has a band and lives in San Francisco now.
He said he would write every day, and he hasn't written once.
How much actual time has he spent in New York? That's all I'm asking.
He was in space. There's like 5 years.
He went to like upstate New York, I feel like, for that party.
Yeah,
or like
true.
The suburbs of New Jersey.
He was a golf.
In the last movie, he was like in the first 5 minutes, and then in the last 2 minutes of the movie, something like that.
So the next movie, we should definitely get him at least 20 minutes in New York. So that's cool.
He's gonna be an Oscar nomination, though. I mean, those.
Oh, dude. Well,
performance.
The next one, he's gonna be in New Jersey, and you're just gonna see the skyline from behind here.
I was watching Endgame, and I wanted Spider-Man, Tony Stark snaps, and then he's gonna die and whatever. Spoiler alert. And Spider-Man's all like, "Oh no, Mr. Stark." Mr. Stark's like, "Hey man, my fucking wife is here. Can you get out of the way?" Like, maybe I'd like to be held by my wife for my last dying moments.
The mother of my daughter.
I hugged you a minute ago. We're fine. Like,
I love you 3000.
Oh god.
He would be like, I want him to be like, "I love you 3000." Spider-Man would be like, I don't understand that. I wasn't there for that part of the movie.
He's so fucked up. He thinks he's seeing his daughter.
Oh, that's raw.
That got dark.
That's too real. That shit got dark.
Yeah, you're gonna get attacked just like I do.
I'm going to use that to transition. That was so tight. Yusef, since you killed the conversation, why don't you start up the next one? What was your topic for this week, my man?
Guillermo del Toro casted Cate Blanchett and Toni Collette in his new scary movie. That got me thinking, what director would you like to see pair two great actors together, and what type of movie you want to see? And just to set the tone, I picked Mike Nichols from The Graduate and Working Girl and Birdcage. And I want him to direct a romance movie between Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen.
Oh, nice.
They're in like a trip because Patrick Stewart's wife passed away, and he promised her to scatter the ashes of her in her homeland of Germany, and that's where he meets Magneto, aka Sir Ian McKellen. And
also,
this is
Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah, old Sherlock Holmes as well. And then they just like fall in love. And I just want to see Magneto
in real life.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, they have so much fucking chemistry, and they look so cute together in real life. Like, I really want them to just go balls deep together.
Oh Jesus!
I mean, sorry, balls deep in the romance, but also in the bedroom if they want to.
Also, yeah, I mean, full penetration.
When you reach a certain age, they just fall. So eventually, they get in the way.
There would be a lot of slapping sound.
Get some pubs in the tub.
So he was hiding this from his wife the entire time? Like, he's just closeted?
Yeah.
I think he loved his wife, and like, they got married young, and he loved her, and he stayed with her, but then, like, once she's gone, and he's, like, for the first time in his whole life, he's having an awakening. And
sounds like Bohemian Rhapsody.
Brian sees my theme right there. So yeah, that's kind of the movie I want to see. I think it would be cool.
That sounds like an award winner.
I was gonna say somebody would probably greenlight that shit because I'd watch it.
Call me up, Hollywood.
But I'm waiting for my call too. It's horseshit, man.
Yeah, but Ian McKellen has to have like a really dark past. Like he's in Germany. Why is he in Germany? Is he hiding out for a certain reason?
Right. Well, you have the fairy tale part of their romance first, and then there's like some secrets start to get revealed, or there's some kind of like there has to be a conflict, and that can come from Ian McKellen's past. Absolutely.
Ex-Nazi.
Oh, pupil style. I like it. I'm into it.
Got to connect the Stephen King world.
So how about you, Joe? What do you want to see?
Ooh, I want to see William Friedkin direct.
My faves.
Yeah, I'll keep him in horror. And I want to see Emma Stone and...
Don't say
it. Like a weird noise.
Is everything all right?
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. William Friedkin directed a horror movie with Emma Stone and, I mean, he's way too old, but Jack Nicholson.
So that age.
Yeah.
As long as they Ryan
Lost in translation, but like even grosser, kind of.
No, I was thinking of just honestly like a caretaker type story that's sinister. I didn't flesh this out as well as Yusuf did.
Somebody's not winning the award.
To be quite honest with you, but that's where that's my three pairings.
Okay.
Freaking.
So like a thriller maybe about like an aging man and he's paranoid about his young maid, or maybe there's like sexual tension, but also is she gonna kill him? Or
can't they play father and daughter?
They can.
Oh, okay, it could be father and daughter.
I think she
also.
Also
is this a writer's room? Are we workshopping it?
They should be so lucky as the high. You know, I'm cheap. I'm not cheap.
What if Jack Nicholson ran an anger management thing?
What if he's Ron Burgundy for the entire? Nobody addresses it.
Hey, that's a character nobody's ever gonna get sick of, and nobody will ever.
No.
That's a character you can draw that out as long as you want. It's not tired. It definitely has lots of new jokes. Very fresh.
Just keep bringing it up.
Wells vagina.
Hey, you know what though? As long as that fucking podcast stays on, Joe can keep using his Halloween costume. And as far as I'm concerned, that's as good a reason as any.
Hey, thank you for that callback. Maybe this year for Flyover we use that Halloween costume.
No. We got Brian.
Oh, me? Oh, it's my turn? Okay. I went with an old favorite director of mine, and I thought I would take two of his stars from two of his biggest hits from years gone by. Everybody's older and more mature now, so I thought Ridley Scott with Sigourney Weaver and Harrison Ford, and maybe do a new, like a neo-noir, set. You could kind of pick your time. I don't want to do it in the future. I don't want it to feel like sci-fi because that's, what he did with these actors before. So maybe something like Chinatown that feels like a throwback to like the 50s or something, or 40s. And just, you can use them like, obviously I was thinking hard-boiled detective kind of near the end of his career, aging femme fatale who's maybe, lost a step, but maybe they need each other, maybe they help each other out, they work out a new kind of, maybe instead of being antagonists, they work together in this one somehow, maybe, I don't know. I'm not here to write it. Fucking Ridley Scott can... Ooh, okay, maybe somebody can write it for him.
Let's workshop it. Yeah, how about he's Ron Burgundy in San Diego, and he
Harrison Ford is old Ron Burgundy now. Wasn't he in the second Anchorman?
Yeah.
Was he really?
Yeah, he was the director, I think, of the network.
How do you know all that about Ron Burgundy, the second one?
I only saw it once, but I know a lot about Harrison Ford, so...
So far, I feel like mine is here. Joe is off camera, and Brian is somewhere in there. TJ, where do you want to go?
I don't think you're giving me enough credit. I think my idea is closer to yours than you would say. I think they're two ideas that are nearly on par with each other.
Now let's go by genre. So Joe had horror. You had a drama, Yusef, Brian. What would you consider
I'm
your
grown, man.
Like a noir, you know.
noir? All right, I'm gonna go like with a melodrama, like a real like intense like uh
Something
what's
like
that?
The Lake House.
Yeah, but what's that movie where it's Manhattan? No, not Manhattan. Manchester
Lake
by the
House.
Sea. Manchester by the Sea.
Oh,
So, basically, I'm taking probably one of my favorite directors today. I talk about him a lot. He's really good. And he also has this like great vision, and Zack Snyder. So I want to take Zack Snyder, Ben Affleck, and Tom Hardy, and I want to make a movie called The Cut. And it's basically about a blind boxer played by Ben Affleck, and his best friend is Tom Hardy, who is Tom Hardy while he's getting ready to play the role as Venom.
So it's just Tom Hardy. Boxer is gonna get fucked up.
Yeah, he's a blind boxer, and they're like.
Is that Daredevil?
No, well, kind of like there's definitely this point in time where he's going through a divorce with his wife because, unfortunately, these things happen because he's a blind boxer. He made these bets he wasn't able to cover. Tom Hardy wasn't able to cover the checks from his last movie, The Dark Knight Rises, one of my favorite movies of all time. So basically, Tom Hardy's his best friend, and there's at some point where Ben Affleck can't cover the deals, so he tries to go in the middle of the night as vigilante and take down the bookies by himself and try to cover his own bet by just killing the bookies. Blind, vigilante, boxer. There's a lot of crime. There's a lot of drama. He loses the last match of his night. I think I'm screaming Oscar right now.
So wait, so Ben Affleck is not Ben Affleck.
No, Ben Affleck.
But Tom Hardy is Tom Hardy.
Yeah, Ben Affleck. Well, the story is about like no one knows about Tom Hardy's upbringing. His best friend Rudy. His best friend Rudy was a blind boxer. So that's Ben Affleck basically playing that.
So is Zack Snyder the Zack Snyder?
Yeah, Zack Snyder's just Zack Snyder. He's just directing this movie.
Is he in the movie?
If you want him to be, he could be like the trainer.
So let's workshop it. Who is he fighting? Let's say
Ron
like
Burgundy.
in the.
He's fighting Ron Burgundy.
I feel like we have gold. It's very easy to come up with an incredible idea. It's just reuse Ron Burgundy.
Yeah,
right.
We're just gonna keep using Ron Burgundy
and an idea that will never and can never grow stale. So we're
honestly,
in good shape on that.
I can't wait till Disney makes the third one.
Yeah, they're the property, right?
Do they have property? Is that a Fox property?
Am I Ron Burgundy? So yeah, I think it's like me, TJ.
Yes.
Joe came up in the third, and then Brian. I don't know why he fell off.
Wow.
So the next one, how about we pick our spirits back up and we go over to TJ, who has a nice Rushmore, Mount Rushmore that he wants to build.
Oh yeah, unfortunately we had one of the anniversaries of a passing of probably my favorite actor, the one that hit home for me a long time ago, and I figured we could make the Mount Rushmore of Robin Williams roles. So
how many years has it been now? 6?
We're 5.
I believe 5. Yes. I believe the anniversary, Jesus, was Saturday or Sunday of it, and so I figured there's 4 of us. We can make a Mount Rushmore of his roles. I'll start off with one that gets a lot of crap now because the movie doesn't make any sense if it came out today. But Mrs. Doubtfire.
That movie's phenomenal. I'm sorry.
I'm with you. I love it.
Terrible.
But
that
also
still holds up.
You can call Robin Williams' parenting into question. I don't think, but
he's a terrible
parent. From a comedy standpoint, the movie is good and funny, and it doesn't do that thing that I hate in movies about divorce where the parents, they might get back together at the end. Yeah. I fucking hate that. That's some horse shit to do to kids who have divorced. It's fucked up.
Liar.
So wait, but don't they kind of do that? She leaves Pierce. She leaves James Bond, and she's like giving him.
Yeah, but he's like kind of settled in his own place and everything. In the end, they never imply that he's coming back or anything. The whole thing is that they can go visit him at his house, and they have a normal visit with him as a dad. There's no. I don't feel like there's any. Now, to be fair, it's been a few years since I've seen it. I don't feel like there's any heavy implication.
You know what's the most questionable part of that whole movie? That was wrong then and should be wrong now, that I'll give it this, is him putting something that Pierce Brosnan was allergic to get back at him on his plate. And then
he
the only, I mean, it's great comedy. Help is on the way, dear.
But also, I think Pierce Brosnan was a good guy.
I like
he's
my favorite scene. Not my favorite scene, but the one that I don't know, like came up in my head. And I always laugh so hard at it. Is when she meaning Mrs. Doubtfire is sitting in the bus, and he forgot to pull up his pantyhose.
He's got that hairy leg.
Yeah, and the bus driver is like, "I like my women natural."
Hell yeah,
natural. I like that.
I felt so bad for that guy. I mean, you know, he was so lonely. But basically, like this role for me, even like the goofy parts from like him with his brother when they're setting up the whole Mrs. Doubtfire.
I feel like that's another thing millennials are like. Harvey Firestein character. Oh, that character's too broad. What a stereotype. It's like, no, fuck you, that's just Harvey Firestein. That's just how he was.
He's
like,
basically
you're
got
actually
Independence
being
Day.
homophobic by calling him out on it.
Yeah.
Oh, this is the Bill.
But like all the scenes in the court where actually you see Robin Williams, he touches the dramatic side in probably the best way possible a comedian can. But like that scene, like those type of Robin Williams roles for me, and like this Doubtfire especially, like seeing it the time I saw and going through what I went through, man. That's up there for Mount Rushmore, Robin Williams. What do you got, Brian?
Yeah, I bit the bullet and took the least interesting choice, but the necessary one. And I went with Good Will Hunting. I mean, obviously, Oscar-winning performance. Really, truly amazing. Really stretched his, like, dramatic chops, but was still really funny. I mean, he's got some legitimately hilarious lines and deliveries. And I think the thing that makes comedians such good dramatic actors is their timing and delivery. Like, they know how to, like, deliver a line, and they know how to deliver it for for the most effect. And he killed it. But because that was an obvious choice, I wanted to shout out one other movie that I don't know, man. I didn't realize until I became I think it was in my 20s, and I started to hear inklings that people didn't like this, and it fucking blows my mind. It was a top Spielberg for me as a kid, and I think it holds up great, is fucking Hook.
Yes!
Robin Williams in Hook, he plays one of my least favorite movie stereotypes, which is the overworked dad. Like, I hate when movies, like, make a dad seem shitty because he works hard. It's like some dads need to support their family and they can't be there every minute of every day. And like the kid wouldn't be able to play baseball if the dad didn't go to work. Like it's just, but anyway, that's off the point. I just think it's a great performance. There's a really great arc. There's nobody better at the time to play a childlike adult, and maybe there still isn't. So Good Will Hunting's my pick, but shout out to Hook.
No, Good Will Hunting's it's probably my favorite role he was in, and I actually used somewhat he said to Matt Damon in front of the pond in marrying my best friend, his wife, and their thing. Because like that whole monologue about love. It's like one of the best things that scenes, and then like even when he grips up Matt Damon in his office when he talks about his wife, he's like, "Don't you ever say her name like that again."
Oh, me and my buddies endlessly used to do. It's not your fault.
Oh, yeah,
it's not your fault.
Yeah, I feel like that movie doesn't age as well if it didn't have that great performance of Robin Williams.
Yeah.
Because like he grounds that. Like, he really rallies Matt Damon around him because Matt Damon's fine in that role. He's not bad, but having that...
You forget how great Ben Affleck, though. He's hamming it the fuck up in that.
Yeah.
I still don't understand why he beats up that 5th grade bully for no reason. It's just...
It's just what he does, Boston, man.
He's Boston, man. It's Boston,
get
man.
It, man.
If you
don't get out of the fucking car, I'm going to come back here and kick your ass myself. You're like, oh, shit.
It's just such inspired casting too.
Yeah.
I mean, like, yeah, you had him in teacher roles and whatnot, but he's just so grounded and like down to earth.
Speaking
of great casting, Joe had my favorite pick. Not to tease that we know.
Oh yeah.
Joe had the pick that I would have picked, and since he took it, I was like, I'll bite the bullet and take Good Will Hunting.
Well, it's so to give a preference of this like Rushmore, I just didn't want to pick your Mrs. Doubtfires, even like your Good Morning.
Yeah, you basic, bitch.
We wanted representation, is what we wanted.
So,
we want to see the breadth of the man's career.
Robin Williams,
DJ,
and to me, his only horror movie, at least his only one worth noting. You correct me if I'm off here. Is a 1 hour photo.
I mean, he did a pretty good thriller, Insomnia.
Yeah,
directed by a young Nolan.
Yeah, I mean, yes, he was in a thriller, and I feel like he was more dramatic in that role, and he's just straight fucking creepy in 1 Hour Photo. It's a really underrated thriller. It's a really small story. I mean, today it'd probably be even pitched as like just like a Me Too story. I mean, it has those same themes.
Topical.
But it's got a lot going on with it because it's not just about her, it's about the family and like wanting to co-opt that life and that companionship. It's like, but he plays, and they do a great job of using what you know about Rob. He's like, you already at this point in his career, especially, this is kind of the first thing he'd ever done like this. You love him and he's so lovable. So like, you're just like the family. You want to like him. You want to like, oh yeah, he's a nice guy. He seems harmless and stuff.
And not anymore, but like, I guess like, photo, that the job doesn't really exist today as predominantly, but you've met those guys before that work at your CVS or Walgreens. That you see every day, like buying whatever. And although it does have one of the most underrated, like creepy but pretty funny moments, is the shot of just him taking a shit in their house during the like break it, like, because it's so mundane and it's really creepy, but it also like makes me.
And there's something.
I'm gonna dump into the side shot.
And there's something inherently creepy about a man with bleached hair, especially like such an old man. Like it adds a certain, something's off about him.
Yeah.
He's got the eyes, man. He's got the eyes for everything.
And maybe they did color correction, but I think that's why he has like the bleached hair, because his eyes just like pop, and he's just like.
Speaking of Popeye, that's the other movie that's going to the fourth movie on our Mount Rushmore is Popeye. So
next topic,
enjoy.
That's with the eye. You talk about the eyes particularly. That's one of those trailer. That trailer also is one of those trailers that's completely sold as this like this more like supernatural-ish horror movie that's much more creepy, because they show the I vividly remember the trailer. They show the dream sequence where his like eyes get bloodshot and like camera zooms in crazy and he almost looks like a demon. 1 Hour Photo.
What do you got, Yusuf?
Oh, I went with the. I mean, I love Robin Williams, as everybody here, but I went with the one that I really gravitate towards, and I've rewatched so much that I know a lot of the lines, and it's Birdcage. Robin Williams Birdcage with
phenomenal
Nathan Lane, and I just mentioned the director Mike Nichols, Gene Hackman, fucking guy from The Simpsons, Hank Azaria. Like, the cast is phenomenal. The relationship.
Don't give Diane Weiss the short shrift here either.
And Harrison Ford's wife. Yeah, she.
Flockhart.
That one. But yeah, no, the relationship between him and Nathan Lane is so natural. Nathan Lane is given the free reign to be the wild card, and Robin Williams has to, for the most part, be the straight man. No pun intended. And they're hilarious together, and it's a real couple. And him trying to wrangle the absurdity that is Nathan Lane just unleashed is hilarious. And the few moments of him, like when you can see Robin Williams just like, because he's very great, he's great there, and in terms of drama, you can see the pain of him trying to act straight again, despite him finally being like a free man in his own right, just for the sake of his son trying to be straight. Like, you can see the pain that's causing him, but those few moments where he just goes full Robin Williams, and you can see that Mike Nichols could not contain him anymore. He's like, just have 5 minutes, dude, but just bring it back in.
Whatever happened to him, the son? He did like 3 movies and then just.
Yeah, my wife recognized him from Will and Grace. That's the only other thing I had ever seen him in.
I saw Big Girls Don't Cry, They Get Even. That was good.
Yusuf, I think that you're actually right. Directors, almost all of them would say let Robin Williams do like whatever he wanted for a take or two on almost virtually any movie because he had such trouble sticking to whatever the script was that it was like, okay, now you do what you think you should do, and it was like just for him to get out that like insane energy he had. So you're probably not wrong with that joke.
I mean, it's pretty crazy that I don't know if you guys saw the documentary of him that they had to bring in a third camera just for him in the Morgan Mindy show, or because he would just
move around so much
that the two still cameras that they had could not capture all his magic.
Oh yeah, if you'd ever like watched some of his stand-ups from the
Just
70s, they're so manic. They can be difficult to get. I was like, all right, this is a little much for me.
Yeah.
I'd never seen The Birdcage until like last year, and immediately saw it. Was like, this is amazing. Got the Blu-ray. I think I've watched it like 2 more times since then. I was like, wow. Like it was kind of cool because it was like I got a new Robin Williams performance in my life where I was like, oh holy shit, I get like a whole new Robin Williams to enjoy here.
Yeah, and one of my favorite scenes, it's when he finally gives Nathan Lane the papers to hand over the club, and Nathan Lane is like, are you sure? And he's like, just take it all. Don't you get it that you're the one that is important? You're my home. Like I can sleep in the I'm thinking about it. I'm like, but every time I watch it, I go like, oh. I buy it. I buy this fucking relationship.
Nathan Lane trying to walk like John Wayne is like
hilarious.
maybe one of the funniest scenes in all of film. Like, it's so fucking good.
And Caesarea trying to walk in the shoes because he's never walked in the shoes, and they're too big for him. Also super funny when Robin Williams walks into the house and he sees the giant crucifixion that Hank Caesarea brought in. He's like, what? You wanted it to be religious. It's like, yeah, but we're not fucking killing Jesus Christ here. It's a great movie. I honestly love that movie.
Yeah. It's a good pick.
4 great roles.
Did we get all 4? Is that our 4?
Yeah, it's our 4 roles. Robin Williams, favorite
Well,
actor of
you
all
know
time.
it's going to be on the thumbnail.
Yeah, now I gotta start trying to come up with a pun that involves Robin Williams. Thanks a lot.
And let it be said that we Mount Rushmore is too little for Robin Williams. Like we could have done 10 Mount Rushmores with his.
Any other movies we want to shout out real quick?
Jack.
Flubber.
What dreams may come.
Ooh, that.
The World According to Gart.
The Fisher King.
Ooh, that Fisher.
Road Dogs.
I guess some Good Morning Vietnam.
Good Morning Vietnam.
I can't forget about
Mr. Holland's Opus. No, that's not it, is it?
Mr. Holland's. I love him in Jaws as well. So
Dead
good.
Poet Society. All right, guys. Mount Rushmore was great. Joe, you got the Mount Rushmore Robin Williams down because you're talented. Also, you have another talented person in your family. Let's talk about Mom.
Ooh, well, she's not part of this game.
Well, just a shout out to Joe's mom, man.
Hey, Mom. No, like I did early on in season 1 of Flyover State of Film, I did bad movie descriptions that my mom will give. This is just bad movie descriptions, but I could give them as my mom. They're more so just a few sentences. They're all based off of what movies we had picked for the past episodes.
Okay.
And there is a tiebreaker queued up.
Include ones that didn't make it to the episode, or that I had to watch that we didn't do a fucking episode for.
You know what's funny about this game? That yesterday I was watching the shit that Brian made me watch, and my wife was like, "You're always watching other people's movies. When are you gonna pick one?" I was like, "I just picked one," and it took me like 25.
That was my wife too. My wife did the same thing. She's like, "When's your turn?" I was like, "This was my pick."
And it took me like 25 minutes to come up with the last pick I made. So this game is gonna go smooth.
What was your last pick?
Don't look for
I grabbed. So just to give everyone a leg up, I grabbed 2 from each of us. So, and I'll just say your name after I'm finished with the sentence. All right.
Okay.
Finish the question, then. Okay, gotcha.
Okay, so
do I have to say my name? Can I say Brian's name?
we all know
say
your
my name, then I get to go.
Yeah.
We all know your accent.
Yeah.
Racist.
All right, so Bat Out of Hell.
Drive Angry.
TJ. Damn it. Just say your name, not the movie.
Just say your name, Yusef, you cheater.
All right, TJ, what is it?
Drive Angry.
All right.
I knew it was the Nick Cage movie, but I was seriously trying to come up with the name.
What's my name?
Joseph.
I don't know.
All right. Not Ladybugs.
Brian.
TJ.
Sidekicks.
Yes.
Oh, I forgot about that movie.
Yeah.
All right. Polka Explodes Heads.
TJ.
Brian.
TJ.
Night of the Creeps.
No.
Brian. Mars
Brian.
Attacks.
Yes.
Oh, shit.
Oh, yeah, that's my pick.
And I think it's actually yodeling, to be fair.
Same difference.
Same difference. All right. Why we need...
Tell that to my ancestors, you fucking racists.
It's the same thing.
Oh, your culture is the same
next...
as the other white people's culture. Ooh, look at me. I'm so woke.
It was TJ, man, okay? It was TJ.
All right,
the whitest person here.
This really triggered you. All right.
I triggered much.
Speaking of triggered, why we need a wall?
Oh, TJ.
TJ.
Desperado.
Yes.
You gotta keep Danny Trejo out, right? Like, come on.
Bad hombres.
All right.
Bad hombres.
Scary stories to tell in the dark.
Yusef.
Yeah.
Urban Legends.
Yeah.
I totally forgot we did Urban Legends, by the way.
All right. All right. A cinematic abortion.
Brian.
Yeah.
Cabin Boy.
Nah.
Oh.
Cinematic abortion. I feel like that's something that I picked.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I don't have it.
A gnome named Norm.
Oh, wow.
See, the reason I couldn't come up with that is my brain fucking blocked it out.
It could have been I could have just said TJ's.
I know. I couldn't think of a good one for that, but now there's pickups on my. You have had pickup? Anyway, nerdy Deadpool.
Brian.
Yeah.
Kick-Ass?
Oh.
All right. TJ, are you ready? Are you still?
You back in? You fucking with your sound? What's going on?
You here?
Yeah, I think that was it.
Yeah.
Oh!
Yeah, I think. All right. Dollar Store Thunderdome.
Yusef.
Damn it.
Yusef, what do you got?
Read some fire.
No, good pick. I didn't even have that listed.
You also got to think. We already did 2 of mine, so it's between you, Brian, and Joe now. Wow. Oh wow. Oh no, TJ. I'll just do it anyway. Lucky number 11.
No, Brian, you have a pick. Think of the movie.
What was the hint again?
A Dollar Store Thunderdome.
Nah, I got nothing. I was gonna say Island of Dr. Moreau.
RoboCop 3.
All right on.
That's a good one, yeah.
All right. Now, poor man's Pulp Fiction.
Oh.
Lucky number 11. Oh damn! I said the name.
I don't even know who
Sorry.
Lucky number 11. Fuck you, Brian. You did what I did.
I know. I've tried to cheat.
So Brian did win by 1. TJ and Yusuf tied, but I'm just gonna go with my other 2 that I had for the tiebreaker for fun. So World War II causes a strike.
Yusef.
Yeah.
A League of Their Own.
Yeah, you got it.
Fuck.
That was the tiebreaker, that's all.
Tiebreaker for second place, you fucking losers.
So.
That's a good one, too.
I mean, I could keep going through the rest of the movies, but
Nah, let's move on. We teased a little earlier. We teased we were going to talk about another big news story that broke. We want to be, I picked my movie last week.
I already talked about it yesterday. I don't want to talk about it again.
No, now you got to talk about it here with me.
No.
On a show people will actually listen to. So, take that, Duncan Zed. Guess what? We're rivals now. This is a rival podcast. Now quit trying to snake my talent. This is my shit. Get off my shit. Get out of my Kool-Aid. This is my house. Anyway.
Back up, Tyrone.
So the story of the day was there was this movie coming out called The Hunt. It was basically, it looks like elites. So rich people, they don't explicitly say they're liberals, as I actually watched the trailer, are hunting. They don't explicitly say right-wingers either. It's basically people from, like, southern states, Arkansas, Mississippi, Orlando is mentioned, which Orlando, not specifically right-wing, but just trash, I think, is what you know.
Yeah, a lot of Puerto Ricans there. So
yeah. See, we keep him on the show so he can say those things. Perfect.
Yeah.
I do have a question. I have a question about, like,
Puerto Ricans? We can do
another. No, The Hunt and this cancellation, or postponing or whatever you want to call it. It seemed like because everyone
it will come out whether it's on streaming or something. It's gonna be available eventually.
But this is my big question about it. It really is, I feel like Trump when he was like the movies, right? That's how this all started with him.
Oh yeah, that's he was talking about this movie.
And was he talking about this movie? Because I swear it just seemed like he was
100%.
vaguely talking about movies.
No. The
like
thing
throwing
is
shit at the wall.
He's a goddamn moron. So like somebody told him about this, or he read about it on some nut job who he follows on Twitter posted about it, and then he didn't even know the name, but and that's the thing. That's what pisses me off about this, because he like reflexively is like they're hunting us, them versus us, but like just like any movie about hunting humans, the people doing the hunting are the bad guys. So inherently, this movie, the hero who is gonna be the right-wing person, I imagine what it'll be, because I did see in the trailer, Ethan Suplee seems to play like some kind of firebrand podcast Alex Jones type.
I said that on the other show. I said that on the Duncan Said show. Exactly this.
It's just stupid.
Did they do it better? Is that what you want to join their show? Won't they call it the Duncan Youssef show, and you call this show the Get the Fuck Out of Here show?
He said,
How about that? I feel like that.
Enough with this beef. It's just stupid. Let art get released and come out how it wants to come out. It's not stopping anything.
I understand postponing it after the mass shooting.
No, I understand postponing.
That's a bad idea, but I think what I'm talking about is like the reason that people are getting mad about it is like wrong. They misinterpreted it. They're doing this tribal thing where they're just getting mad on the face value. But like, even if you took a second to watch there's so many people who were talking about it who didn't even bother to watch the trailer. Their tribe said, we don't like this, it's us against them, and they took it on face value. And if you actually watch it, that's clearly not the case. They're going to delineate between like the crazies, like Alex Jones, and the quote unquote good ones. And then one of the good ones is going to kill the bad guy, who's the person who set up the human hunt. Because the person who set up the human hunt is always the bad guy.
It's funny because nobody was complaining when they were hunting black people and Latino people in the Purge. Poor people.
But the Purge full on did do the political thing in the fourth one. They were like they called it out and were like, this is just a reason to get rid of poor people. They came out.
I saw Betty Gilpin deserves a chance to lead a movie. God damn it.
Yeah, I actually, like I said, I saw the trailer and despite my political leanings, I wanted to see it. Like I was like, this looks okay. I would check this out.
There was like a really liberal movie that came out recently that wasn't very good, but I had a solid cast and I watched it.
Endgame. Avengers Endgame.
Did anyone catch that? Avengers Endgame. The Oath.
Oh, okay.
No, I I have it on my. I just got Hulu for free because of Sprint.
Yeah.
And I just added it to my list that I wanted to see.
It has that very politically charged, thing, and it's fine, but who gives a shit?
I don't.
Clearly, people.
Yeah, apparently people don't like movies about hunting humans, but weirdly, I like movies about hunting humans, and that's why I picked this week's movie, my choice to honor the late great Rutger Hauer, Surviving the Game.
God damn it, man! He has such a great filmography, and you picked this bullshit.
Like I always do, I take time when I do my pick to just get out in front of it and say a little bit about revisiting this. First of all, big TNT movie for me. This is like a basic cable staple for me. I used to watch this shit all the time on basic cable, all the time.
Can I read the plot?
No, we'll get to the plot. The plot is the most dangerous game.
No. Can I read the plot in my plot voice?
Oh yeah, okay, sure. Do it up.
This game, comedian John Leguizamo plays a Puerto Rican con artist in Miami, Florida, named Pastorio Riviera Garcia Piniquente Salsa Vargas, also known as Pest, who agrees to be the human target for a German manhunter
you could have at the very least read the fucking shit for Hard Target. Like, come on, at least give me the respect of comparing it to Hard Target.
No, I'm fucking with you. I did enjoy. I'll be right off the bat. I actually like more pros of surviving games than the cons.
Here's my thing. I was gonna get out ahead of it just to be like, everything I love in this movie starts from when all the hunters are introduced to when they leave the woods. The beginning and the end, the bookends on this one are pretty weak. I was realizing that on the rewatch. Yeah. I was like, the kind of stuff with Ice-T on the streets and his life before that.
I legit almost cried laughing at the saxophone-filled scene of him taking a bath.
He's cutting his dreadlocks and shit in the bath
with the fucking mirror.
No, but he also almost looks at the razor blade like he's gonna kill himself. It's very.
Oh yeah, he does. He's like, hey, I'm in a warm bed, a warm bath. I could just do it all now. There's pathos there.
Yep, that's so deep.
Now, this isn't. To be fair, this is not SVU Ice-T. This is one of Ice-T's first big roles, leading, and I think they did a great job of hiring a really strong supporting cast to build him up. When this movie, like I said, when it kicks in when they get to the cabin and you get your full-on Busey, you get your full John C. McGinley, your Charles S. Dutton. Yep. The cast is on point for this movie. Everybody's killing it. When Busey gives his prince the speech about his dog, don't tell me you weren't fucking captivated.
That's when I tweeted, oh wait, maybe I did fuck up. Maybe this is a good movie. And then he died 5 minutes later. I was like, no.
But he dies in such an amazing way, too. When he has the jump on Ice-T, but then he throws his knife away, and he's like, we're going bare hands.
Yeah, going bare hands.
Busey literally just showed up the set. And that she wasn't acting.
But he brought it to set. He didn't just show up and cash in.
No, he didn't.
I'm back Brian 100% here. 100% Brian.
He wasn't acting. You know what I was just saying on the first, literally till they get there, the first half hour is shot, scored, and acted like a bad episode of Tales from the Crypt.
Okay.
That's fair.
Everything with Ice-T in the city, correct? Yes.
It reminded me of that, low budget hour episode of a 90s show when people didn't really know how to make hour of TV and tell a story. And then when they got to the woods, I actually had a lot of fun with that. And
the movie, the movie really kicks in then.
Well, here's the question.
Ice-T in this movie, it really defines 90s in a sense of Hollywood, at least. The differences between today and back then, because when he takes off his shirt, he has kind of a chest, love handles, and a belly. Today he
has all about seeing his scars. It's not really about that he's supposed to be.
But today he scarred up and shredded.
Today he would have to have a 6-pack just for that one scene where he took off his shirt.
That's fair.
My
But I
question
like that he
is,
didn't. I like that he was like out of shape and he was smoked and he was a fucking bum. Like he wasn't in good shape.
My question
It's kind of fucked up that Gary Busey. I'm stuck on Gary Busey. Sorry, he ran out of breath during that story because he was so invested in it. Like he legit went like oh, fuck, I forgot to breathe during those 5 minutes that I was talking.
So did I. I forgot to breathe while he was telling that story too, because that shit's fucking intense. Like that story has stuck with me. I think about that shit.
I think about this too. If you don't watch now, this Brian says the movie. I watched the trailer yesterday to get like a little grasp on it. If you don't watch the trailer and you go into this, and that whole dinner scene where they have the pig's head, if you watch the trailer and go back and watch, it has like some like crazy Get Out vibes where like you see the background tones of what everyone's thinking at the same time and like what they keep doing with each character.
There's definitely a racial undertone going on with like if Charles S. Dutton wasn't in this movie, all these dudes would have been using the N-word. Like every one of these guys would have been calling him that
they
word.
would have been like,
especially John C. McGinley. He wanted to call him so bad. Like he did.
He was my favorite character, John.
John in anything. You mean?
Yeah,
like,
he was.
He wasn't too far off from his character in Point Break here. He's kind of like he's got a very similar vibe.
You son of a bitch.
Intense. Like his great cast.
We're talking about Dr. Cox, right?
Dr. Cox. Yes, John C.
So Dr. Cox kind of bothered me because in the cave he fucking runs out of breath because he's talking too much and he has to use his inhaler. But he's like
Ice-T gives him the inhaler.
Yeah, but he's super fine running next to Busey, full sprint, like nothing.
No, don't give me that bullshit. They show him using that inhaler out in the field.
They only use him once.
Who cares?
Nah, they established that inhaler.
Convenient asthma bullshit.
You're nitpicking because you know this movie's good.
I want to go back for 1 second. There's one connection I wrote down note-wise. It goes back to that saxophone scene in the city. Now, this is based in Seattle, correct? Like where it starts?
Yeah.
So I'm telling you, that sax scene where Ice-T comes in and gets the hotel room and puts his things on the thing, gets in the bathtub with the sax playing in the background, put that up against, I'm telling anyone right now, I'm not just making a joke, put that up to the first like 10 minutes of Howard the Duck where he goes into his apartment and gets a cigar out, pulls the play duck out, and has the saxophone playing, turns on TV. I'm telling you, I'm going to line those up.
Do it.
I'll tell you another vibe I was getting from this movie when Ice-T is telling his story in the cave. He's got John C. McGinley, you know, and he's telling his story. I got a real Crow vibe of like, we were living in this dump and I was trying to get, the landlord, we were like trying to get him to, fix the place up. That's pretty much Eric Draven's story, He tries to get the landlord to fix the building and they're going to the tenants are going to unite and that gets him murdered. So I was getting a real Crow vibe from that.
And I got a real Diablo from Suicide Squad vibe too because he burned his family a lot.
I feel like this movie.
I do love though when he tells John C. McGinley that when he's like, "They're like, you ever killed anybody?" He's like, "Yeah, my wife and kid."
You son of a bitch.
And then, but he's like, and then they take it a step further and they're like, "How'd that?" Because Gary Busey's psychologist like, "How'd that make you feel?" He's like, "I came in my fucking pants."
And he's washing his fingers. And he's doing
like, "Yeah, baby, get that cop killer vibe in this."
What I just want to ask, did they steal Rutger Hauer's look for when they were doing up Michael Douglas and Ant-Man? Because they're interchangeable.
His beard is just slightly shorter. Michael Douglas's his goatee isn't quite as long. It doesn't that's it. That's the only difference.
Same character. Sorry, the whole time I was like, wait, is that Michael Douglas?
I'll give you this. Probably one of my favorite scenes. There's this whole thing where they introduce him as what's he supposed to be hired as?
He's supposed to be like a scout or like a field guide or something, even though he has no experience.
They have that.
He's not, and also that's another thing. Ice-T, clearly very desperate because not suspicious at all of this.
No.
He also doesn't
even though I have no skills, you sure you want to take me out here? Yeah.
I remember 30 minutes on a trip.
Ice-T
fucking 5.
But Ice-T doesn't even do anything. Not even saying that. He doesn't even give them any. He's like, whatever, as long as I'm getting paid, I'll be your scout. But doesn't even try to pretend it. It's like,
yeah,
I don't know.
I'll say this movie
runs that treadmill though.
Yeah, this movie has the bad scenes and has the great scenes. I'm telling you, the scene where they wake him up, do the whole thing, send him away, and they're like, "We're gonna have a nice leisurely breakfast while you run," and they do the inner cuts where they're just relaxing.
That's great. I love
One of
all
the
that.
best scenes is when Gary Busey holds up the butterfly thing, and the face of the angry groundsman of Rudy is just like encapped in the wings.
Yeah.
Like all those girls do those Instagram pictures now with the wings on the fucking sides of the building.
Right.
That's where we got it from. So good.
I love that. I love him doubling back to the cabin and then the reveal of the heads in the jars.
Oh, the Futurama room? That was so stupid.
Oh, I love that. I love that they already had a jar for him waiting to so that he could be like, oh, and then like
why did the cabin explode?
But then they did a very 90s thing. In the 90s, action movies and horror movies love to explode like heads and body parts in jars and like formaldehyde jars.
Let's talk.
If he has formaldehyde jars, they're gonna catch fire. They're gonna blow up, and that's
that dude in the fire passed out so fucking quick. He was like in the house and then cut to, and he's like.
Do you remember when he was what was he supposed to be in Scarface? Cuban? Remember when he was Cuban in Scarface?
Yeah. Oh, he killed Tony from the back like a bitch.
Yeah.
The kid though, my God, I was so happy when he died against the green screen. Like he had this weird.
I like that kid. I like the arc of that kid though. That's a great role where like the dad brings him out there and he actually like he actually got his son killed, and not only that, like in the span of like a couple hours ruined his whole relationship with his son. So his son died hating him, and then he got him killed on top of that. I was like, wow, that's fucked up.
Yeah, I feel the death should have been better handled. Like Busey should have died next to last.
Abraham was the dude who got. Wait, I gotta. I'm still hung up on this.
Abraham
was the guy that got thrown out of the airplane.
Yeah, he's gotta get
the helicopter.
Yeah,
you didn't kill Tony.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's the guy who does.
Sorry, you're still talking about Scarface. That movie's not even good.
No, okay. So I want to go back to my favorite kill in this, and probably the most intense one, which actually makes sense, is because you have that scene where Ice-T tells Dr. Cox in the cave that he was a mechanic, and they go to the next scene where he takes the electrical starter and puts it in the gas tank. So when the guy hits it, and then he has the double fucking chop, like he's like, we gotta, and then Rutger Hauer does the double fingers in his neck. He's like, oh, you gotta go sleep now, buddy. And he's like, yeah. Sleep.
Yeah, but it looked kind of dumb.
Charles Dutton's death, and I think it's like they give you see him set the trap, but there's just enough time that you're kind of not thinking about it, and then they let it blow up in the background, like over Rutger Hauer's shoulder. They don't even do it, like they don't even focus on the shot.
Yeah,
it blows up behind him, like he reacts, and I think that was a really great choice too.
And also not having just like a blown up body, like a guy who just like, this is what got blown off, and I'm still like alive.
I'm still alive, and we got to do this army field death, fucking Saving Private Ryan shit out here.
Right?
Can I ask a question? Why was Ice Cube wearing blackface in the end?
He was just dirty. I think he's just supposed to be really dirty.
How did he get
trying to be Orlando Jones?
How did he get off? How did he get out of Alaska or Canada? Where were they?
That's where I was.
He had a bike or he had like a ATV.
Why?
Rutger Hauer got out there on ATV because he blew up his plane.
No, he took another plane though. There was two planes.
Yeah,
Rutger Hauer flew out.
Yeah.
Rutger Hauer is a seasoned hunter.
That's pretty badass because it only took Ice-T 3 days.
Was so confusing.
3 days to get back down to Seattle.
Yeah,
it's so stupid. It's so stupid because he's been hunting this asshole for a day and a half. The dude killed everybody, and he just takes it at he's not even gonna look for a trophy. He's a hunter. He's looking for trophies. So he just thinks, he blew up. I'm not even going to look for him. Goodbye. And he just takes off on a plane.
He didn't see a body. He just leaves.
As Brian said, the endings are pretty.
No, but
I agree. And I used to think, I remember I was watching this movie and my wife sat and watched the first 10 minutes before she left the room to do something else. But I remember when the old man tells him about checking the barrel, I was like, oh, that comes into play later. And then when it comes around at the end and the way, I was like, this is actually kind of lame. Like, I actually don't really like this very much. It's pretty dumb. Like, it's kind of a dumb way to end this movie.
I think at the start of this convo, though, about this movie, you really hit the nail on the head, though. You said, like, this was a cable gem. This is the perfect cable, like, USA movie. Like, I'm sure my dad has watched this movie. and does not know he's watched this movie. Like on
Right,
Sunday,
or
he's gonna sit down.
if you ask him about it, but like if you put it on, he'd be like, "Oh, I remember this."
I'm trying to think. What was?
Yeah, not even. He'd be like, "Yeah, I think like."
What was Rutger Hauer trying to accomplish at the end? Being a what? He wasn't a like pasture father, was he? What was that?
No,
He was like an Orthodox.
Right, like so he had this business, and I think he was just because everybody died. Like you hear F. Murray Abraham's wife calling, and like I think it was just he was going on the run. Like turns out you thought he was like a businessman, but he's literally like a scammer. He's got like all these uniforms, he's got all these passports.
Yeah, Marine.
You know what would be great? You know what would be great to, change your identity? Fucking shaving your goatee instead of painting it.
No, he painted it black though. It's a different color.
I have a question for you, Brian.
Okay.
His name is Mr. Burns too. You guys love The Simpsons, right?
Yeah, that's a great poll because Mr. Burns has an episode where he plays the most dangerous game. But there is an episode or a reference at least.
They've done everything.
Brian, I have a question.
Simpsons did it
For you.
It's almost like they've been on the show for 30 years.
The dude who gets him to go, to get Ice-T to go into the most dangerous game, was he just working at that like soup kitchen?
Oh yeah,
I think that whole thing, that the whole reason he works at that mission is to scope out homeless dudes.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Only homeless people they pull in for it, I believe.
I'll tell you what, I actually I knew the plot, but I thought he sold it well. Like I actually wasn't expecting him to be in on it as someone who never saw the movie.
Here's another thing. Let's go back to that beginning.
As stupid as that sounds, like him being like, no, like get her head on his shoulder. Like I thought it was a good, like made for TV movie, like conversation they had.
The beginning for me is
he's just a legit nice guy. Why would this well-known character actor be in this movie?
I was thinking like why Ice-T is playing a homeless guy, and then he has a best friend, old guy, homeless guy, who like they help steal carcasses out of.
Oh, I like the old guy.
Yeah, but he buries him in just like a fucking field that's still in the city that a building will get eventually built on top of. What if Hank ends up fucking haunting a building because of Ice-T and the dog?
Oh. Yeah, that's fair. I mean, that's reasonable.
That's how Indian burial grounds are made.
I mean, it's kind of. I think it's stupid that he got recruited from the very beginning because, like, all they saw was he got punched in the face, and he didn't punch back. He's like, yeah, that's the perfect hunting material right there. I'm gonna set him loose in the woods, and he's just gonna run away from me.
Yeah, this ain't my dog. This is my friend's dog.
I love every time he impressed them or like surprised them the way Charles S. Dutton and Rutger Hauer be like, oh, this one's not like the other one. That's one of my favorite things. They keep doing it through the whole movie.
Cigarettes in the tree, or then like the time when he goes in the river.
I told you this was good. And you get the impression, I mean, you saw those heads. They've done this a bunch of times. So like for someone to surprise them or to like impress them, that's a pretty big deal for them. They've been doing this shit like they've had a dozen easy kills so far. We saw the movie opens with their most recent kill, and that dude he went down.
I was really hoping to see them kill somebody, knowing that probably Ice-T was going to survive. Like going into this, he's going to survive. So you got to see these people kill somebody.
Yeah, I want to see them do their thing, but I they're very careful not to show who. And you also get the impression that maybe the hunters weren't the same on every trip. Like Charles S. Dutton and Rutger Hauer ran the trips, but there might have been like the doctor had been there before, but never with his son.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was the doc's first time. It seemed like maybe it was Gary Busey's first time. But I'm not sure.
I feel like those were returning customers except the kid. But it's kind of boring though because not all of you can kill him. So you're paying $60,000 to be part of the game, but only one of you. You're also
part of it. Part of the game is proving you're the ultimate hunter amongst this group of hunters. One of you is now. Granted, I do like.
Yeah.
I agree that maybe then they shouldn't have all been constantly together. They should have kind of split up and gone out into the woods and like. It would have been cool to see everybody have a different style of hunting. Like to take a minute to see like. Gary Busey's way of hunting compared to how F. Murray Abraham and his son worked, or like, you know what I mean? Like maybe they have different styles or they try different things, different stuff. That would have been kind of cool. But
I feel that the movie really suffered from losing Gary Busey.
I don't know though, 'cause it's still got a lot of talent.
It's so good.
Okay.
No.
You just want to rank it?
I love F. Murray Abraham. Like tough guy F. Murray Abraham cracks me up. He's like, "Come on, Mason.
Yeah,
Hey, come out and fight me. I don't have a gun." And he instantly spins around and just like fires his gun.
Oh,
The
one thing.
That's a long fall from Conciliary.
Okay, now I know how I'll rank this, so I'm not even going to add into it. I'll just know how I'll rank it.
All right, how are you going to rank it?
Oh, okay. Then I'm going to go out of 10. I'm going to give this a solid. What?
Out of 10 what? Out of 10 dreadlocks?
No.
That's what I was
going to say. I'm going to give this out of 10. I'm going to give this 7 shotgun shots in the base of a tree trunk to make a bridge. That's what I'm giving. 7 solid.
I love that
shots.
he uses up his shots. He uses up all the shots in his shotgun to chop down that tree. So he just starts lobbing rocks at them, and it fucking works. He kills one of them.
Genius. Yo, it's such a
dumbest scene was that scene.
Solid 7 out of 10 fucking shotgun shots to the base of the trunk.
I knew this movie wasn't perfect going in, and then when I watched it, I was like, man, the beginning and the end, the bookends really are not great. But like the meat of this movie held up very well for me.
Really 7 out of 10. What do you got, Yusef?
Oh, I give it like a 4. 4 naked Ice Teas. With saxophone.
This is way, especially as like a '90s action movie. This is way better than a 4. This is like a.
It's a fucking 4, Brian. Stop
even being
everything
cruel,
around
it's like a 5.5.
You keep saying, oh, everything around the meat. Fucking 30 minutes of an hour and 40 minutes is worth more than 4. Fuck you. It's a 4.
That shit is the shit on the mountain and with those actors is so good. It supersedes.
Okay, we get it. It's 6.7 dreadlocks.
It's not your worst, Brian. But
oh, there you go. 6.7 dreadlocks. Look at that. So you're in the minority, Yusef, and I don't want to say that, but I did.
6.7 dreadlocks.
And I'm not going
Brian's
crazy.
not wrong. The middle saves this movie
fucking
enough that I think if it was on cable, I'd watch until the plane takes off.
Right,
you know what you do? $3. You put it on, and then you go make yourself some nachos during the first 10 minutes. Then you come and sit down and eat your nachos, and you watch the good part. And then if you feel like watching the ending, if you're still sober enough to like stay awake.
Why do I got to eat nachos, mother?
Oh, I meant me.
Racist.
I was talking about me.
Go play your polka music, bitch.
Damn you, son of a bitch! It's yodeling. I'm not. I recommended this, but I'm objective when I'm watching it. I'm right there with TJ, about a 7 for me. And that is like as a 90s action movie. In the same way that I would rank Antonio Banderas and Sly Stallone's Assassins as a 7, because it's enjoyable for me. It's not good, but it's a fun watch. It's a good watch.
Shout out Stone Cold's The Condemned. Shout out The Predators, Adrian Brody.
No, Predators is legitimate good. It does not deserve to be lopped in with these. It's actually good.
I think it's a great movie.
Desperado is a 90s movie too, and that's fucking fantastic. I don't know why
you
keep saying
True Lies. Every movie can be a top 10 action movie, but some movies are just fun.
Stop saying like 90s is like a black hole. Like you keep saying like 90s is a black hole of good movies. These movies suck.
No,
it's a 1. It's good.
Are you guys ready to watch? Are you guys ready to watch?
No, we're still arguing about my movie, Joe. We're not talking about your movie yet. You son of a bitch. You're trying to take over. Everybody's been taking over my show. Everybody's been doing my transitions for me. Like I can't do transitions. I know how to do transitions. I'm gonna transition right now. Joe, what's your movie, Joe?
All right, it's 1999.
Oh boy.
The Matrix. All right, great, good pick. All right, let's
go. It's 1999, and we're going to Japan.
Oh.
And we're gonna watch Audition.
What?
One of the creepiest.
I used to have this on DVD. I'm gonna have to look. I don't know if I still have it.
I don't even know what it is.
This movie, I haven't seen it in about, I'd say, 13 years or so. But it is I love this movie. I think it's gonna make each one of us happy. I've been meaning to pick a good movie for a long time, and I really just want to make Yusuf happy. So
You know what?
Oh my
I'm
God.
sick of Yusuf's happiness. Ooh, look at me. Oh, my dreams are coming true. I'm moving where I want to, and I get to keep my job. Everything's so secure for me.
You know who's happy for me? Duncan said.
Yeah.
Oh.
And
well, that's because
Hey, Brian, I thought you'd like this one
Like I
too.
said, they got a spot for you on their podcast. We'll do 3 and 3. We'll make this some fucking Survivor Series shit.
And they
take it down.
And they pick good movies too, bitch.
Whoa!
Jesus!
I just gave you a foreign horror film.
Oh no, I love your pick. I'm talking to Brian. Don't butt in, man. Mom and Dad are fighting.
No. You're lucky. You're lucky I brought in your horizons.
Joe,
this guy who recommended the worst movie I've ever seen in like the last 10 years to me.
I did not recommend it to you.
All right, cool. We faked TJ out.
Oh, damn it.
All right, so let's do the plugs. We can get out of here and use.
Yeah, nobody's listening.
Go watch some kind of goddamn pretentious ass shit that he likes. Yusuf, where can they find your terrible takes?
At Why I Love Movies on Twitter, whyilovemovies.com. On the Duncan Set Show, I don't know when the fuck they're gonna post it. On the fucking DVD bunker. I'm everywhere, man. I'm internet's least wanted Puerto Rican.
Oh, damn.
TJ, how about you, man?
I'll follow that up easily. You guys are on Flyover State of Film YouTube. Check out our Quentin Tarantino bracket we just dropped.
Oh, yeah. Look at my feet.
Yep. Check out Yusuf's feet and his flexibility. Also, you can find me at TJ Dex on Twitter. I'm not on the Duncan Zed show. I was supposed to be, but then I couldn't. So I'll get on there eventually.
They'll treat you right, man.
You know what I mean?
They fucking spoiled you, man. You're ruined. You're
what
fucking
kind of
ruined.
snacks did you get in the green room? Did you get any snacks in the green room?
They gave me granola.
All right. Joe, where can you find you, bud?
You can find me at Chandango1, just the usual thumbness. You can find me on the DVD bunker. You can find me writing.
And the Duncan Zed Show.
And you can find me on the Duncan Zed Show. You can find me writing for Why I Love Movies. I'm my new podcast where I just talk to a pet rock for 3 minutes, just about life. Please subscribe to my Patreon.
Very insightful.
Yeah.
We should make a poll to see if we're going to do the next episode, though.
Some big stuff on Chandango.
I feel The Rock has very solid opinion.
Brian, where can we find you at the DVD bunker?
Hell yeah, all these boys came on the DVD bunker. They actually killed the show. I tried to revive it, and I brought these guys on, and it fucking died. So it was a good show. It had a nice run, but you can still find old episodes if you search on your podcast app or whatnot.
Don't blame us for your lack of motivation.
You can find me on Twitter getting to spats and just saying things that have no basis in fact or reality at any time. I'm at Hercules, and this has been Flyover State of Film. We really enjoyed introducing you to Surviving the Game, and a movie that everyone enjoyed equally and agreed was good. So thank you. Good night.